Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome back to Easy Mathematics. We thank God today is another day. I would like us to observe 1 minute silence for my late mom who passed away last 2 weeks ago, which was 25th May 2022, the African Union Day. May your soul rest in perfect peace. My late mom, I know you are in the bosom of your maker. Today we want to upload a video which is a question, past question, based on the old curriculum, and it is BECE 2021. But today we want to solve 2 questions. The next time we meet, we'll solve 2, and the other day we'll solve 2. So that we'll get the understanding of it because of the time and the megabyte or the gigabyte we are going to get. So today we want to look at BECE 2021, which was past question that was written November last year, which is June paper, but was written November. So we have the first question, which is the BECE 2021. In the Venn diagram, which is this, M and N are intersecting sets of the universal set U. So M and N are intersecting. And when we say intersecting, it means they have something in common. Good. And they are of the universal set, which is U. We have the first question says, express the number of M and the number of N in terms of X. We are to express the number of N and the number of M and the number of N in terms of X. Now what are they asking us to do? They are asking us to simply write what belongs to M on the Venn diagram and what also belongs to N on the Venn diagram. So I have my solution. This is number 1A. I am to express Mn. So I'm going to say Mn is equal to. But let's come to the Venn diagram first. On the Venn diagram, we were told that we have 4 regions on the Venn diagram. We have region 1, region 2, region 3, region 4. And the sum of all these regions gives us the universal set, which is the U. Now, if I want the number of M, the number of M is the region 1 and the region 2 put together. When you put these 2 regions together, you are going to get the number of M. But the question didn't say M only, but rather the number of M. So the number of M is going to be the region 1 plus the region 2. And this region 1 is M only. And this region 2 is the intersection of M and N. So if I want to use the region, then I'm going to say the number of M is equal to I plus II, where the I is this and the II is this. So I is 8x plus 4 plus II 6. So if I put this together, I'm going to get 8x plus 10. So we have the number of M to be 8x plus 10. So I have expressed Mn in terms of X. Now we also have the number of N. Also, for the number of N, we are going to use this portion, which is region I plus region III. So this is the intersection, and this is the N only. It is N only. So to write the number of N, this is going to give us the region II plus region III. Now you should know that this V, this IV is complement. It doesn't belong to M, it doesn't belong to N, but it is inside the universal set. And we call it complement. So what is region II? The intersection, 6. Plus region III, that is N only. I have 2x plus 7. So grouping like terms here, we are going to get 2x plus 13, which is the number of N. So the number of N is equal to 2x plus 13. So here, number 1a, which I was asked to do, I have been able to express Mn and the number of N in terms of x. So in terms of x, the number M is equal to 8x plus 10. And in terms of x, the number N is equal to 2x plus 13. So this is what you were expected to do last year, 2021. Now when you continue, you have B. It says, given that the number of M is equal to the number of N, find the I value of x and II number of U, which is a universal set. So let's take the B. It says that using this idea, they've given you the clue. They're given that the number of M and the number of N are equal, or the number of M is equal to the number of N. So this I'm going to say number of M is equal to the number of N. Now when you come to the A, we've solved for the number of M and we've solved for the number of N. So I'm just going to substitute the M with this, the N with this. Then I'm going to get equation. So number of M is equal to 8x plus 10 is equal to number of N is equal to 2x plus 13. And this gives me a simple equation where I am to solve for x. So to solve for x, what do? We group like terms. All those with a variable one side, those without variables at the other side. So the two will join, giving us 8x minus 2x is equal to 13 minus 10. The reason why this is negative is because the positive here, it crosses the equal to sign. And we're told that anytime a sign crosses the equal to sign, it changes to take the opposite one. So positive, it becomes negative. Positive here, it crosses, it becomes negative. So I have 8x minus 2x, giving me 6x, which is equal to 13 minus 10 is going to give me 3. Then I have to solve for x. To solve for x, divide both sides by the number you don't need, which is close to x. So I'm going to divide 6x by 6 and divide this by 6. So 6 will cancel 6. I have x is equal to 3 here 1, 3 here 2. So x is equal to 1 out of 2, which the question says, find the value of x. So this is I. I have solved for the value of x. So in this question, if you can get the value of x correct, then it means you have to get this and this correct. So if this and this are wrong, it's going to affect your final answer for x. So now x is equal to 1 over 2, as the question asked of x. Now II, you have to find the number of u, and the number of u is the universal set. The number of u is the universal set. Now when you go to the Venn diagram, we were told that the region I plus region II plus region III plus region IV sum together or put together produces or gives us the universal set. So this plus this plus this plus this is equal to the universal set. And that is going to be your answer. So let's write it out. Region I plus region II plus region III plus region IV is going to give you your universal set. And what is in region I? In region I, we have 8x plus 4. In region II, we have 6. In region III, we have 2x plus 7. And region IV, we have 6. So we are going to substitute these two there. We are going to substitute them in the regions. So region I, we have 8x plus 4. Let's put this in a bracket. Plus region 2, we have 6, which is the intersection. Plus region 3, which is III, we have 2x plus 7. Also, let's put it in a bracket. Plus the region IV, which is the complement, we have 6. All this put together gives you the number of U, which is the universal set, which we are to solve for it. So now, how can I work this out to find my universal set? Now the x that we have here is the value that we have here, which we were asked to solve for it, and we had x to be 1 over 2. So in place of the x that we see here, we are going to put 1 over 2 there. So to take the first one, we're going to say 8 bracket of 1 over 2 plus 4 plus 6. So let me put this in a bracket. Then plus 2x. X is 1 over 2 plus 7. Then plus 6 is equal to the number of the universal set. So in place of x, I've put in the value that I had for x, which I was asked to solve for. So if this answer is also wrong, it is also going to affect the one we are about to do. So let's see. 8 times half, it means 4, or 8 of half is 4. So 8 of half giving you 4. 4 plus 4 gives you 8 here. Then plus your 6. Then we come here. 2 times half, or half of 2 is what? Is 1. So 1 plus 7 gives you 8. Then plus the sub complement 6 is equal to the number U, which is the universal set. So you ask yourself, what is 8 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6? 8 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6 gives us 28. Because this plus this is 14. 14. So 14 plus 14, 28 is equal to the number of U. So therefore, number of U, which is the universal set, is equal to 28. And we have been able to solve for the universal set, as we can see here. So since we've had 28, and this is the answer for the question 1BII. Question 1BII. Good. Now let's go to the C. Question 1C. It says simplify. Question 1C. Simplify 2 raised to the power 6 divided by bracket of 2 raised to the power 2 times 2 raised to the power 1 divided by 2 raised to the power 5. So looking at the question, this is an indices. It is an indices where you are to apply the law of indices or powers of numbers. But to respect the board mass, let's deal with the bracket first. So the bracket, we have 2 raised to the power 2 times 2 raised to the power 1. We are multiplying and the bases are the same. That's the first law of indices. If you are multiplying and the bases are the same, you put the powers together. So this is going to give me 2 raised to the power 6 divided by, bases are the same. What do? You add the powers divided by 2 raised to the power 5. So I have 2 raised to the power 6 divided by 2 raised to the power 2 plus 1 gives us 3. Then divided by 2 raised to the power 5. So here, from here, you have division, division. Bases are the same. That is the second law of the indices. If you are dividing and the bases are the same, subtract the powers. So we are going to subtract each of the powers from each other. So the bases are the same. 2 raised to the power 6 minus 3 minus 5. Why? Because we are dividing and the bases are the same. That is the second law of indices. So you have 6 minus 3. You have 6. If you take away 3, you are left with 3. Then now, the 3 that you are left with, if you take 5 out of 3, you'll be left with negative 2. So let's take our time and solve this one so that we will not confuse ourselves. If you put 2 in the bracket, we are going to get 2 raised to the power 6 minus 3 is 3. Minus this 5. Now 3 minus 5 is going to give us negative 2, which means our final answer will be 2 raised to the power negative 2, which is the same as 1 over 4 or 1 over 2 raised to the power 2. So then it's the same as 1 over 4, because the reciprocal of this will give you 1 over 2 raised to the power 2, which is 1 over 4. So this was what we were expected to do during last year BECE 2021 for the number 1. So solve everything correct here to get 15 out of 15. Good. Now let's take a commercial break and talk about number 2. Okay, welcome back from that short commercial break. We have to clean this side so that we'll be able to continue. So this is what we were expected to do. That is BECE 2021. If you have the questions, you can go across. This is the marking scheme. I'm giving you the marking scheme, all the solutions to that. Good. Then number 2A. Number 2A. It says factorize the expression 5ay minus by plus 15b minus 3b. Now this is something new for those of us in Form 2 and something new to Form 1. For those of us in Form 3, this is a revision to us. Now, how can you factorize this? To factorize, you have to make sure that you put 2 terms of numbers in a bracket, but make sure that at least they have something in common. So how many terms do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. If I want to put these 2 in bracket, ask yourself, do they have something in common? Yes, they do. Y is here, Y is here. So we are correct. We are going to put this and this in the bracket. Also, if I want to put this and this in the bracket, looking at the, this is A. This is A. The question gives us 15A. If I put this and this also in a bracket, you will notice that A and B are not common. But 3 and this 15, they have something in common, because 3 is a factor of 15. So they have something in common. So now that I'm putting 2 terms in a bracket, now come here. Check the letters or the variables. This is AY, BY. Do they have something in common? Yes. What do they have? Y. So we are going to factor out the Y. Now if you factor out Y, what do you have left? We are left with 5A. Minus here, we are left with B. So we are done with this one. Then the sign here is plus. Now when you come here, look at the variable. Do they have something in common? No, they do not. So you leave it like that. But when you look at the numbers that we have here, 3 and 15, they have something in common because 3 is a factor of 15. So we are going to factor the 3 out. And here, out of the 15, 3 is out. So ask yourself, what times this 3 will give me this 15? 3 times 5 is 15. Then you write your A, because A wasn't common there. Now the 3 is out. We are left with B, so minus B. You will notice that after you factorizing this bracket and this bracket are the same by having the same element in it. So since we are having the same element, we will pick one of it. Then we are going to also pick the outer values. So you pick y, then plus 3. Then this and this, you pick one of it. Bracket of 5a minus b. And you have been able to factorize completely the expression. And this was what they were expecting from you last year, 2021, or from our juniors. Then we have B. B says solve 6 over 4p minus 1 equal to 4 over 3 bracket of p plus 4 bracket close. Now this is an algebraic expression but a fraction. It's an algebraic expression but a fraction. So how do we solve it? Since it is an equation and a fraction, we are going to use the cross multiplication because we have 1 term, 2 terms. So using the cross multiplication method, 6 will multiply everything here. So we have 6 times 3 brackets of p plus 4 is equal to 4 is multiplying this. So 4 times, now the 4 is multiplying everything. So we have to put it in a bracket so that we will not multiply the 4 only by 4p. So now what do? We have to clear the bracket by multiplying. So this will give me 6, 3, 18. Bracket of p plus 4. I just multiply this and this. So this is still in the bracket. Is equal to 4 bracket of 4p minus 1. So now let's multiply and clear the bracket. 8 times p will give us 18 times p will give us 18p. 18 times 4 will give us 72, which is equal to 4 times 4p will give us 16p, because 4, 16, minus 4 times 4. Sorry, 4 times 1 is 4. So from here, what do? You group like terms. P is here, P is here. So this one will cross to this side. So we are going to get 18p minus 16p because it was plus here. But when it crosses, it becomes negative. Is equal to negative 4. Because this one is still negative 4 because this hasn't crossed. Where it is still there. So the 72 is rather going to cross positive. So negative 72. So this is going to give us 2p after subtracting this from this, which is equal to negative 4, negative 72, negative 76. Then you divide both sides by 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2. This will cancel out this. 2 here 1, 2 here 38. So therefore, p is equal to negative 38. And this is your answer. Solve this correct and you have your point given to you. And this is how we solve for this one. So A and B. This is A, this is B. Let's look at the C for number 2. The C for number 2. Now since we are done with this one, let's get rid of this so that we will be able to solve the C. Good. Now the C. How can we solve for C? Let's read the question. The question says, AC and Kofi shared an amount of 21,000 Ghana cedis in the ratio of 2:5 respectively. Note this word, respectively. How much did Kofi receive more than AC? They've not asked you to find AC share or Kofi share, but they've asked us to find how much did Kofi receive more than AC. It means before we can even get that, we have to, although they've not asked us, we have to find AC share and Kofi share. But we have to note certain things here. The ratio given. The word respectively. It means the first name mentioned takes the first ratio given. The second name mentioned takes the second ratio given. So in terms of ratio, AC received 2. In terms of ratio, Kofi also received 5. So now we know each ratio received. So in terms of ratio, AC 2, Kofi 5. Good. Now the first thing that you have to do in this is to first calculate the total ratio. And what are the ratio? 2 and 5. So total ratio is 2 plus 5, which is equal to 7. From here, calculate AC's share. Before you can know the amount Kofi had more, you have to calculate each of them, the amount they received. So you have to first find AC's share. And AC's share is calculated as AC's ratio over the total ratio. What is AC's ratio? 2 over the total ratio, 7. Then you multiply this times the money or the amount they shared. They shared 21,000 Ghana cedis. So AC's ratio over total ratio times this. So 7 into itself 1, 7 into 21, 3 times. So it means 7 will go into this number 3,000 times. So you multiply 2 times 3, giving you 6. You bring the 3 zeros here. So it means AC's share was 6,000 Ghana cedis. Then you also calculate for Kofi's share. Kofi's share is also calculated by Kofi's ratio over total ratio times the amount they shared, or subtract AC's share from the money they shared. How much did they share? They shared this. If you subtract this from this, whatever you get, it will also give you Kofi's share. But in terms of calculating it for ratio, Kofi's ratio is 5 over total ratio, 7. Multiplied by amount shared. Also 7 here 1, 7 here 3. 5 times 3 gives you 15. If you include the zeros, this will give you 15,000. It means Kofi received 15,000. The question didn't ask of AC's share. It didn't also ask of Kofi's share. But it said, how much more did Kofi receive? So for you to get the amount Kofi had more than AC, you have to subtract AC's share from Kofi's share. So to calculate the amount Kofi received more, Kofi received more is equal to Kofi's share minus AC's share. After calculating, what's Kofi's share? 15,000 Ghana cedis minus AC share 6,000 Ghana cedis. When you subtract 6,000 from 15,000, you have 9,000 Ghana cedis. So therefore, Kofi received 9,000 Ghana cedis more, 9,000 Ghana cedis more than AC. This is the answer, or this is what the question is asking for. It means if you take Kofi share and you take AC share, the amount AC is holding, if you deduct it from AC's from the amount AC is having, if you deduct it from Kofi share, whatever you get as an excess is what Kofi had more than AC. Thank you very much for staying tuned. This is BECE 2021, number 1 and number 2. Because of time, we solved only 2 questions. Friday, if God permits, we'll solve question 3 and question 4, so that you will revise and get yourself prepared for 2022 BECE. We pray, and I give you the best of luck. Thank you for staying tuned. After solving the BECE questions, we'll look at how to solve construction questions, or we'll start the basics in construction. This is a new topic for those of us in Form 1, because it is a strand to be talked about under shape and space in Form 1 under the new curriculum. Thank you for staying tuned. This is Easy Mathematics. Stay blessed. Don't forget to hit the